I did eat dinner, so all good. As you can see, we are playing the wonderful Dyson Sphere program, which is currently rendering 60 frames a second of grey. There we go. I will back up the save before we try and load it into the new mod, just in case. It's me. I think you commented on the exploding barrels from earlier. Now imagine you're in VR and they're exploding past your head. That's going to be quite something.
Yeah.
Not necessarily a good thing, but definitely a something. I'm already running into exciting performance issues because I haven't tuned anything. I've just gone particles. Okay, so we're at day 12. So we are on the new version of the mod. Exciting. Well, it's loaded. Who's up for first join then?
Requesting join.
Go for it, Shark. Oh, yeah. Brr.
I am joining.
I'd like to point out, as I pointed out yesterday, what did we play yesterday? I've forgotten. But I played that against my will because I want to play Power Wash Simulator. Today I'm playing this against my will because I just want to do more programming because I'm like, I haven't even put sound effects in yet. Once we get sound effects in, that is going to be absolutely awesome.
What are you playing? Did you decide in the end?
So Dyson Sphere program tonight. Shako's away tomorrow, so we'll do Power Wash Simulator tomorrow. As I was saying to Esmia, you see the videos I put up. they look quite cool, but they are going to be absolutely fucking awesome in VR. Like, I don't have a VR. Well, I don't have a VR game that really chucks stuff at you to the point where you're probably going to duck without thinking about it. I can't think of anything. There aren't many.
What can be done about the way that the particles intersect with the floor, though, and they get kind of abruptly chopped off?
I haven't. I mean, bear in mind, everything here is just slapped in. The particles that land on the floor are supposed to collide with the floor, not just sort of go through them.
Okay. Well, that's good. Is that's the only thing that doesn't look good about it?
Oh, well, good. I've just started, though I haven't got very far, on lights that turn off when they catch fire.
Hello. Options.
Oh, is that some options? Streamer mode, cool.
They added chat.
Sink soil. Oh, great, I can't add it. Yes, they had a chat. I'm not sure why. Can you imagine playing this with randoms?
What even is streamer mode?
It probably hides the... Oh, not the chat key is.
Right.
It's not T or Y or enter. Tilde?
Where are you seeing these?
Under settings, multiplayer. But I will sync soil next time.
Alt tilde.
What? What?
It's in the control settings.
Alt tilde. What was wrong with just tilde?
Sync soil.
Yeah, I will enable sync soil for next time. That's going much slower than I would expect.
Oh, cool. They've added crisp to the ARM version of Discord.
Ah, good. I love crisp. I think crisp would just come with every microphone. It should just be law. Like this just needs to be a thing. Apparently the oh wow, that's really annoying. It just pops up a massive dialogue box. Yeah, I think oh, that's very cool. How'd you do that?
There's a button by the smiley thing.
Oh yeah. There's a big dialogue though, and it takes. Again, I'm super impressed they got that in the game. It's really amazing, but I don't want it.
You can ask out of that.
Yeah, but if I'm in the middle of something, it Interrupts my flow, man. Okay, so we're still...
Permission to join?
You're clear to join. So I am going to start upgrading so we get triple and then quadruple stacks out of all our logistics, which would be cool. Unrelated, I will be patient on adding VR to that game because I want it, but I will wait a while because then I'll get distracted. But I'd like to have a test level done probably Monday, I expect. And I might do another stream with a bit more, ooh, things are on fire. And then I need to implement the network sync, which I have a network sync system that is apparently very good and actually does proper prediction. You can just tie in physics objects. I've used it a bit. I was quite impressed. The hard part is there might be an awful lot of objects on a level. So I need to very carefully choose what can be synced and what I don't care about. Oh, our whites are flying along now. Right, everything
The
is...
outline for that window is Alt tilde,
Yeah.
which I can't do on my keyboard because I need Alt to make tilde.
Tilde is just the very top left. Try the Greek apostrophe. Tilde is not where tilde is. In the UK keyboard, tilde is miles away from the key we call the tilde key. So just Alt and then the key to the left of your number 1 key.
Well, I instinctively bound it to be that key, but that was some kind of bar. My tilde is next to the Enter key.
Yeah, but you need the Greek apostrophe, not the tilde key. The Greek apostrophe key is the one to the left of your 1 key. Dora, what are you doing? Dora, there's nothing under there, my love. Except you now. Thank you, Dora. Yeah, so that is tilde, but that is not the key you press on a UK keyboard. On the UK keyboard, you either press that one, or that one, which is the 2 keys in the top left next to 1. So my top row with shift is that, and with shift is that. But it's not tilde, which is actually that symbol there, which is miles. That's over by my Enter key. But Quake called it the tilde key, so it wasn't until many years later I find out they actually mean the Greek apostrophe key.
Accent.
Sorry?
The one that goes from top left to bottom right.
Yeah, Greek.
It's a graph accent.
Yes, well, I don't know why I've known it as the Greek one. I don't know if it's the one they use.
I don't know why. I've never heard of it.
I've always heard it called grave.
Okay, I'm less serious than you guys. You're just a bit grave.
I'm more serious than you.
It's not hard. Oh, that looks so cool. Look at that.
Reason.
I like this game, but not enough stuff catches fire. What am I going to do, genuinely, by the way, if the game is just too fucking terrifying to be in VR with the world on fire and shit exploding going past?
Well, you say that. As soon as you had the flames coming out around the bottom of the canisters, it got disturbing.
Trust
Unsettling.
me, if it gets to that level, fucking release it anyways.
Oh, yeah.
I shit you not, it will become a hit.
I mean,
if you find an extreme and you push that extreme, it will have fame.
So, Esmond, you played Warcraft, I believe. Did you play the one with the Lich King, that expansion? Did you play Ulduar, the Ulduar raid? So did you play the Ulduar raid that started off with the giant robot with a child's voice, XT001, I think it was?
Yeah, something like that.
And later on, there was Mimeron. If you remember the Mimeron fight. So there was...
Yep, I did Firefighter.
Oh, you did Firefighter. 10 or 25 did you get?
Both, actually.
I forgot the 25. But we got Mimeron Firefighter 10. Sorry, guys, we're reminiscing about Warcraft. So I remember someone who wasn't in the raid, in the guild, saying, "What's the fight like?" I said, how to describe it. So when you press the big red button marked "Do not press this button," it puts it into hard mode. And in hard mode on Mimeron, and I said everything is on fire, and the fire is also on fire. So maybe that's where I wanna go with this. I mean, my next step is to add in scorching of the nearby areas via decals. And the idea is you'll put out the fire, hose down the decals, and then I may or may not go down a, what's the word? Like viscera cleanup detail, cleaning up the shit. I'll see how I feel. But I do want the burning to knock out the lights. So it will start beautiful and pristine and gloriously lit. And then all the lights will start to flicker and go out as they get burned. So you'll need to set up spotlights. And I'm hoping to add in, not quite classes, but roles. So you can say, I just need you to aim the spotlight because I can't see what's going on. So I've got some cool ideas.
In, and there are snakes in the room.
Well, I don't know if you ever played. I did do a VR walking demo, like just through a dungeon, which was very, very good. Enjoyed that. But one of the interesting things about it is I have zero fear of snakes. Spiders. Spiders do not concern me in the slightest. And then I put in a 5 or 6 foot spider. It didn't do anything. It didn't attack you. It just walked down the plank at you. And I ran it once and I just went, nope. VR does this thing where stuff stops being fake. And your brain just goes, yeah, that's a real spider. There's no, oh, this is a computer game. Oh, I am enjoying it just vicariously. It's just, it might eat me.
Yeah, technology is only moving in one direction.
Yes.
More real. There's one of the most beloved games on PSVR is Resident Evil 7, which is terrifying for most people, and a lot of people just won't play it. Like they nope out of it before they've even gone inside the house at the start of the game.
Yes, we've got that at the arcade, and we've got it running for people to play because it's only got pad support, hasn't it? Like it's still,
as opposed to motion controllers.
Yeah, it's still basically Resident Evil. It's weird because you could have done it quite nicely, so you're only viewing it from the third-person camera, but sadly they didn't do that.
I find the third-person camera to be rather interesting, like especially with Dirt Rally 2. That was not where I expected third-person to feel like cheating.
Well, I mean, like a Resident Evil, or I mean, if you're old enough, Alone in the Dark style third-person camera, so you're kind of just watching from a corner of the room, so the scene is more or less static, kind of like that.
CCTV style camera in Alone in the Dark.
Yes. Did you watch the Lemmings documentary, by the way?
No. Didn't know there was one.
I linked it. It's very good. Put it on Facebook as well. Watch Facebook, maybe. Watch Facebook. Read it. The Lemmings documentary is excellent. Came out a few days ago. It's 2 hours long, and the first 90 minutes is superb, and the last half an hour is them talking about the mobile game they released a few years ago. And then you realise that a lot of people they interview are from the marketing company that made the mobile game. So it's a little bit of self-serving end, but really, really interesting. Really, really, really good to watch. I do recommend. I'm not burning any of this stuff because we don't want to put it. Oh, what are you doing? Staring at me.
The main lights have melted and gone out. You should, for a while, have like battery-backed emergency exit signs. Give you a little glimmer of hope for a while.
Yes, I mean, I will probably need to make sure it's playable, at least to a certain degree, in single player. So I may need to actually make it so the torch lights are a nicety, but not really an advantage. Not really a necessity, sorry. Why don't I just shove this into a is this actually important? I'm not sure it is. No, it's not, because this is, as Mia's one is. Although it does look cool having our entire world having a band of red over it. Maybe I'll just settle for
have
upgrade.
torches at all. And instead you have to use the fire to illuminate your way out.
Just set that on fire again. I can't see where I'm going.
Exactly. Balance to be struck between Inferno and being able to find your way out.
I hadn't considered allowing the players to set fire to things. So if you remember Magicka, so I want to try where I can to emulate the bit of Magicka that no one did. So in Magicka, you had to cast these spells, and they were enormously complicated spells. Like super, super, mega, 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 ultra complicated spells. Or you just went Steam, Lightning, Fire, and you only have 2 spells. But the idea was that you would cast these really complicated spells using a lot of keys. And when you mess them up, it was brilliant. But no one ever did, because you didn't. Because I tried to play it properly. So I did things like try and heal someone and accidentally put them inside a barrier with the enemy. So stuff where people can really screw things up by trying to be helpful is, to my mind, a good thing to add to the game. Yeah, especially if it's like some, some skill where it's like, oh yeah, that would definitely, if it works, that would be brilliant. But emphasis on if that works, and if it goes wrong.
Well, there you go then. So you can't find your way out unless someone sort of dabs sticks, petrol-coated sticks in the fire to make a torch, and that could go very wrong because they might ignite the room.
I mean, Icarus had the thing where if you were holding fire and you stood near a torch, as you stood near a tree, set the tree on fire, which kind of was cool. But the problem was it would do it when you're in a menu, and you're like, don't do that. Oh man, I really should.
Yeah, well, multiplayer games can't pause when you go in the menu.
Yeah, but they can stop the fire simulation. I was quite angry when I first set fire to everything whilst I was in a menu. Right, so I am gonna I get rid of that. I can put 1 piler in there. That one there. Cool. 2 pilers. So, Shakra, you getting away without Storm... Oh, what's the name of it? Storm Arwen? Storm Eunice? Something like that? Eunice. The storm. There's a storm going on right now. There's an enormous storm and people have died from it.
I have not experienced anything too drastic yet.
Are you expecting the storm? I don't know if you're geographically correct. There's a fantastic picture of a Tesla that a tree's fallen on it. And because it's a Tesla and not any other car, instead of the tree destroying it, the tree is just sitting on top of the car. So I can find it a sec. There we go. Yeah, they make a big thing about you can stand like 10 elephants on the roof of a Tesla. Any other car, that would not have been a car anymore. That is unbelievable what it's taken there. Despite, there has been warnings like don't park your car under a tree, but,
Yeah, that is impressive unless it's leaning on the roof of the house opposite.
True.
Which, if I owned that Tesla, that's exactly why I'd frame it that way.
Wow. Related results. Porsche Taycan. You're close, Google. You're close. It's a Tesla Model 3.
That picture doesn't add up. I'd like to see a different angle because it really should be crushed. Like the leverage there and the weight of that tree, it really shouldn't be holding that tree up.
Well, that's the point, is the glass roof is enormously strong. Much, much, much stronger than a normal tin roof. I can't find any other pictures of it, which is a shame.
I reckon my car would have a good go with that tree as well, because it's got this carbon fibre reinforced plastic life cell that basically doesn't crush as well.
Yeah, I suspect the smart car would have a good go with its Tridion cell, but a normal car would probably be half a car. I agree. I would like to see the other side of the road as well, but that's unfortunately the only photo I've got. I know it happened in Chiswick. Right, so we are researching at a rate of knots. I've sped it up, so that's good. But yeah, I don't want to bite off more than I can chew on this game. I have a sneaky suspicion if it goes well, I can essentially bolt things onto the end. But the first goal will just be multiplayer, working, synchronized burning objects, VR, and hose pipe support, and then see how that goes. But given that I've spent quite a lot of time after the stream just blowing stuff up and going, I think I might be onto a winner. Games that you just want to sit there and fiddle with are always you're always onto a good thing then.
Now I really think it's just leaning on that tree on the other side of the road.
Oh, I want more photos. I love
I've just sent you one. I've just posted it.
But I want more!
Yeah, like I no longer think it's being held up by the Tesla.
God, that is terrifying though. Delroy, we are using the Nebula mod. I think we've got it. Is that automatic, Schalke?
No.
Oh. Oh, hold on. Where's my overlay? Thank you for the follow, Delroy. Yes, we're using the Nebula mod. I think there's 3 of us playing. I think we've had 7. It's really very good. You will want quite nice internet. Yeah, which is a safe thing to say. But yeah, we've spread out quite a way. Esmira's over there. Schalke is over here. There's no limit to how many people can run. I mean, eventually, your machine will come to a crunching halt trying to keep it all going. Yeah, but I think Tesla said you can put 10 elephants on top of a Model 3's roof. It's some silly stat like that. But yeah, I would like to see if it's caught, whether it just... God, look what it's under the pavement though. It's mad. But yeah, we use it's the Nebula mod. It's free. If you just Google Nebula multiplayer mod, you should find it.
Pictures. It is leaning on the tree opposite.
Aha!
BBC. Accept nothing, believe no one, check everything.
Oh, we've stopped producing whites because we're out of... Oh no, we're out of antimatter.
I'm a fucking idiot.
Well, I didn't like
So
to be the first to say it.
I'm staring at that second picture, and I could have sworn it looked like it had a gull-wing door that was open.
Oh, it does, doesn't it? Yeah.
I just barely realized that's another car.
If it makes you feel better, I briefly thought the same thing, very briefly, till I zoomed in.
Okay, so we're searching. Bit concerned we're out of antimatter.
Solar power should be quite enough. I guess it's
what?
plateaus because now the rings are done. Or did you enter new designs?
No, we've run out because as always, there's always going to be a bottleneck. The bottleneck was greens. Right at this point, greens are no longer a bottleneck. So now, antimatter is a bottleneck. Delroy, given the sort of the nature of the game and how organised it needs to be, we're not really accepting randoms. Not that, you know, I am specifically saying you're a bad person or anything, but for all we know, you could just join and just start deleting everything. We have no way of stopping you. We have no way at all. So I mean, these are all people that I know and trust, or I've got their address and the name's their firstborn. So yeah, I appreciate the offer. But for games like this, we don't usually allow, I say randoms, you are a random. Look, when we play like Wreckfest or something, come along, 100% join in.
Games where you're meant to grief.
Well, or games where there is no real ability to grief. But, I mean, this is the thing in Fortress Craft. It's possible in Fortress Craft to grief really, really subtly. Like you just rotate one conveyor belt and nobody will notice. But
a game that doesn't have violence, but we need protections more than a game about smashing cars.
Yes. Well, yeah. Well, as you're kind of supposed to smash cars in that. Oh, hold on. Why are we not boosted? Whoops. Now there's your problem. But if you've got a group of people you play games with, normally, this is pretty good. But we've also played quite a lot of Fortress Craft together. Like, there's a bit of an art, should I say an art to playing logistics games with people. Because you have to sort of establish some ground rules. Because otherwise, people will just tear everything you've built. You'll be destroying stuff they built. It will go wrong quite a lot. So you do need to have some sort of system in place for understanding the best way to do it. I extend that storage. That should now allow stuff to come in. Now I'm gonna have to use it. Every time you build something, the ray receiver resets its sound effect. Okay, priority to that one. Right, there we go. That should now upcraft all those. If I grab another 100 graviton lenses just to keep that one fine fettle. Yeah, I'm surprised I haven't done something like that game before, by the way. Because, like, I mean, you played SimCity. I know a lot of people who much enjoy blowing their city up than actually, you know, doing the sensible bit. So, perhaps I should have focused on a game where it's about stuff going very wrong. But yeah, blowing stuff up in SimCity, people love that. I know lots of people that is the bit they want to do. Okay, so I'm now boosting that. That's now double the speed of antimatter and hydrogen. We've only got 2 of these particle colliders. I'll be honest, I never did enjoy that part of SimCity. I don't know why, but I know people who just love that. Sometimes I would save it, destroy my city, but that's not quite the same. They all boosted. I wish I could filter boosted and unboosted stuff. So I would filter boosted out that way and unboosted out this way. I guess what I can do is I can empty that one very quickly into a hopper. I want everything out of here that's not running a product thingy. And then in a minute I'll delete all this stuff. I'll just stand there and recharge while it's It's very hard to see the boost on these because they're glowing.
I'll be back in a moment.
Hey, Dora. I have a cat that's full of murder. Why are you so full of murder? Just running around. She's got a little, like a little cush ball, a little tactile ball, and she loves it. She does. I have to say, with things like game reviews and cars, you only tend to hear from the extremes of people. I wonder how many people have an EV and just go, yeah, it's alright. Without any sort of, oh, this is the best car I've ever driven. Just, yeah, it'll do. I don't think I'll be able to persuade my mum to get behind the wheel of the Tesla, so I'm not sure I can find out that way. Izzard, you said your dad drives an MG, was it?
No, he got a Kia. Yeah, Kia.
The E-Nero or just a Kia? Or EV6 or what?
Yeah. No, E-Nero.
And is he like, this is the best car I've ever driven, I love it?
He's an engineer, so he doesn't really get excited about good engineering so much.
Because it's that's how it should be. I would say...
Yeah, exactly, yeah. He's like, this is how it should be, yeah.
I think for the vast majority of people, if you said, instead of saying, we're taking away the thrill of driving, you're going, you don't need to piss about with the clutch or ignition or batteries anymore, people would be like, yeah. Like for most normal people, I would say that would be a massive thumbs up rather than something to bitch about. I say I do quietly pity anyone who goes, oh, you know, the challenge of changing gear. Like changing gear is pure automatic. I drove the Impreza for the first time in ages, weekend before last, and the gear. I'm a little bit clunky because I haven't driven it properly in a couple of months. But gear changing, you know, you don't go, oh, shall I change gear? It's completely automatic and has been for about 20 years. There's no longer like, I really love changing gear. I can't wait. It's not like a motorbike when you're doing a clutchless shift. That's cool. Like you know, you probably feel like you're racing when you do that in my cruiser.
I was taking a trip in the MG the other day, and with all the assistive stuff switched on, it'll quite happily drive along, following the road, adaptive cruise control with the cars in front, stop pulling up behind them, in stop-start traffic, which is great. However, within about a few seconds of letting go of the steering wheel, it will get upset.
The only issue I've had with my one is that Tesla did decide to drive going down the it's going down a motorway, but it's a 50-mile-an-hour motorway because welcome to England. It decided to going along, and then it saw the arrow and the brake for the slip road and just swerved really hard left into the slip road. I didn't let it because I was holding the steering wheel. Exactly like that, because it went, we're going left here, and I was like, wait, what? I suspect it would have been fine.
You initially thought he'd contrived that situation, didn't you?
I did, yeah, but I can see why it does it, because I can now see the arrows on the visualization, and it sort of went, oh, it's a left turn here. I was like, but I'm not the sat nav says go straight on. It's a very weird choice.
I was just interested in the steering wheel. Like, I assume it just is looking for if you're resisting its motion at all, because I know it's not capacitive because we've got the steering wheel cover on it, and so if I hold the steering wheel too sort of limply, it will get upset as well.
I just usually just hang my 2 fingers on the right hand side of the steering wheel, or hang my thumb, just hang my arm's weight on the steering wheel, and that's enough for it to go, cool, you're there. So what the Tesla does, you can feel it. It will just basically, after 15 seconds, it just sort of starts to oscillate the wheel left and right, only half a degree, and it continually oscillates the wheel. And if you argue with it, it will go, oh yeah, you're still there. Some cars are capacitive, but Tesla went with the physical one. I think the Model S might have been capacitive. But you're right, you couldn't use the cover because it would always think you're not touching the wheel. Right, is that everything cleared out? You see it, right? So now I can get rid of these. Now I can get rid of that. Oh, my research is done. Blimey, sorry, I wasn't paying any attention. Planetary, okay. Right, so the next step requires Logistics Carrier 13. So this is massively improving our logistics capacity. It's a bit like I could do with a comfy chair, because I'm just sitting here just managing the research. I'm just in a comfy chair for my robot. Little charging socket maybe. Oh right, because I'm boosting some on the way out. But I shouldn't be getting.
Sorry, let me interrupt. Someone's selling this thing called Pedal Box, which is supposed to increase responsiveness on your throttle.
What, on an EV?
Yeah.
Is it just it kicks in sooner?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, they're saying like, it has no effect on the lifespan of your motor or any kind of detrimental effect. It just makes it more responsive, which kind of raises the question: well, why isn't the car like that responsive in the first place?
I mean, I do know. I say with the Tesla, the 0 to 60 times they claim do involve you stamping your foot on the accelerator hard. If you push it down slowly, you will get a significantly slower 0 to 60 time, because for some of the 0 to 60 time, your foot is only part way down. So one of it is something really stupid, like not quite to make your accelerator digital, but so only only the first 10% of your throttle is doing anything, and the rest of it is just full on.
I know, I'm really curious. It's they call it a remapping. It comes with 4 modes: City, Sport, Sport Plus, and Stock. Automatic custom tuning for your.
For what car?
Well, for all sorts. It's pedalbox.com if you want to have a look sometime and figure out what the hell they're doing. But I know on the MG, I can't imagine the response being any quicker, especially in sport mode. It's already feels instantaneous. So.
Oh, right. So is this for any car? So this is going to be something like a larger, larger pulley that the throttle cable goes down, that sort of thing.
No, it's like it's a little electronic module that goes in line. A little control box will then reach the driver. Yeah. I don't know anything about it apart from what I heard it exists.
So such
when you
a box,
choose your manufacturer model.
So such a box only changes the gear ratio, gas pedal to throttle body. So yeah, I mean, essentially it's doing that. You're I'm not sure quite how it works in EV, but you're pulling the cable harder. Paddle box. No one says it's shit though, but I think it just makes it feel more responsive, because it's like shoving your foot down immediately on, when you put.
So what's the downside?
You lose any sort of fine control.
Do you know? You think they'd think of that?
Yes, I do, because remember I use stick extenders on my Xbox pad to change the range from about 0.5 centimetre to 2 centimetres, because it's not enough accuracy.
Could they sell it for a Tesla as well?
Wow.
270 quid or 300 quid for pedal box plus with app.
So just to be clear, and I'll put a picture, you don't mean that pedal box to stop people stealing your car.
Yeah.
I've never seen.
That look nice in yours.
That's amazing.
Where do you store it when you're not using it?
Just close it up. No, you just use it. You just use it open.
My granddad's had one of those things that goes around to your gear stick and then over the handbrake, and then you lock it with a sort of Yale key for his Vauxhall Nova and his Ford KA.
Yeah, so what it does, it sits between the throttle sensor and the throttle send. So yeah, it will just change it will change it from being a very linear pedal to an extremely non-linear pedal, which I already have an option. It's called Chill and Sport. I'll send you a graph. There's a graph. Dora, what the? Oh, it's got a cat attacking me.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can get the same effect just by being more heavy-footed with your foot. Like, it can't actually affect your 0 to 60, assuming that if you're doing a 0 to 60 run, you're not gently putting your foot down. I do need to get out of the habit of stamping my foot down on the Tesla, though, because I am going to start using up a lot of tyres. Oh, PCBs. Where have I cut those?
Yeah, but it's fun for the first bit of ownership. It's all novel.
I don't think it's going to wear off. It didn't wear off on the Cruiser. The only reason I don't hit the Scooby is it's extremely loud. Like, it's not subtle. If I'm being naughty, it's very obvious I'm being naughty. And also it's an old car, and I do have some mechanical sympathy. But if you think about the Tesla, you just stick your foot down and just get away with it, going, no one knows I was driving like a dick. Whereas you just can't do that in Pratsa, because everyone exactly knows what you're doing because they can hear you.
Yeah, and if you don't go very fast, it's practically silent as well.
Yes. Well, say my Zero makes a cool noise when you accelerate. It's a nice whir of the belt tensioning and all the gears. And I don't know if it has gears. I vaguely assume there's a gear, but it is geared between the motor and the output by a massive great step up, step down cog. Not cog, what do you call the thing that meshes with the drive? That pulley.
as me and Schalke are probably wondering how the hell you've got to talking about Tesla again, so I will.
You started it. You're talking about
leave you to
EVs.
play. Yeah.
He seems to be a Tesla fanboy.
I am totally a Tesla
Yeah.
fanboy.
And then he talks about Tesla hate boys being on the Tesla fanboy forums.
Well,
Oh, really?
to be fair-
that's sad.
to be fair, I did post that picture you sent me going, I think you find it's the tree that stopped it.
What are the Tesla hate boys, like, what is their angle? Like,
Musk's an
if you
idiot.
listen,
He says stupid things.
okay,
He
it's
calls
not
them-
that they think there's a better car that you should have then.
No, because they go flat and they're too expensive and they're just made of plastic.
Okay, right. So, but
Right.
yeah, Musk is clearly divisive and he's a little bit Trumpy, but I like him a lot.
Have you heard about Instavolt, by the way? I don't know if you use Instavolt.
Yeah, I do. I like Instavolt a lot.
50p a kilowatt hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Machines are good, easy to use though. They just work. They're reliable.
50 pence a kilowatt hour. That's just insane. The sooner the government start going, actually, it does look like there's the beginnings of the rumblings of legislation on EV charging pricing as well. Not quite what that means, but they are aware the worst thing they need at this point is for EV charging places to start gouging people, because people have pointed out at 50p a kilowatt hour, diesel is a little bit cheaper.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will be doing some more fire stuff, possibly after the stream, but I'll do a bit more tomorrow as well. And it looks like the general consensus is please stream more dev. But fine, whatever, I will. As long as it's cool. Sometimes I'm just not doing stuff that's cool. But today it was pretty cool, or hot. Zebra went off on a very complicated thing. He goes, he wants like realistic heat, and you have to duck down low if it's too hot and avoid smoke. And like, I don't think that would be any fun. Oh,
If the whole game is going to be about heat spread, then the level of detail involved might be warranted.
right, but is it fun? So I don't mind about stuff going wrong. Like if you spray water on an oil fire, it's going to go wrong. That's okay. That's fun. It's not fun to force VR players, or is it, to force them to duck down and crawl around? Because obviously I will have to support teleport mechanics for me.
No, it's not.
You can have locomotion. I don't care. But one of my friends...
Unless if you make it a button that is toggled.
Well, one of my friends is a avid VR user and a wheelchair user. So I have made sure that all of the VR games I do supports her. And I have got her to test stuff in the past to make sure. And I don't think forcing her to crouch or stand up is already a thing. She's already pointed out in one of my games she couldn't... Oh, what? She couldn't like get to stuff on top of a shelf in VR. I was like, that never occurred to me that would even be an issue.
The Half-Life Alex deals with height. It's just one button, but it always seems to know what you want.
But that makes you taller or shorter? I haven't played it, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, you not played Alex?
No.
Hmm.
It just didn't seem to have enough longevity or depth, and just seemed expensive, and my knuckle controllers are broken.
Not at all. It's like, oh, really?
Yeah.
What about your Quest?
I wouldn't use my Quest, I'd use the G2. But my knuckle, I'd want to play it on knuckles.
You just said your controllers are broken.
My knuckles are broken. Yeah, but
With the Quest then on the PC.
But I thought this was like a Knuckles tour de force. This was one of the real, real reasons to use the Knuckles.
Because what? Why? What does that give you?
Have you used the Knuckles controllers? They're amazing. Like really, really, really 2 generations ahead of the shitty things on the Quest or the G2 or everything else, in fact. Like, during the finger demo, at the end of it, you have to get a key out of a sealed envelope and you tear the top off of it by pinching one hand and pinching the other and tearing the top off. And it's like, oh my god, it's amazing.
It wasn't broken.
Well, yes, there's that. But it's amazing.
So anyway, I think you should play Half-Life Alex as a VR fan. You should play it.
Oh, okay. Well, I think I stuck it on my wish list, and I've waited for it to.
I know it's the most I've ever paid for a game ever. I've only ever waited for games to be in sales or free, but it's kind of a must-have as a VR fan. So also, it's taken me months because I just play it in short bursts, just do a little bit at a time.
Noted. Where are these off? Oh, they're offloaded to there.
I had some issues in the later parts, and I have been trying to look into more into what was going on there.
Yeah, you just toggled crouch in Alex, that's why I mentioned it, and it wouldn't be fun if you forced VR players to do that. I don't even like having to do it in Beat Saber.
I don't mind Beat Saber because I can do it with panache. Sort of do a faux 3-point landing. Instead, with Power Wash Simulator, how many levels are there? They doesn't seem to be stopping throwing more and more and more and more levels at me.
I don't know, but I bet they're not difficult to make because it's probably get an asset and cover it in dirt.
Yeah.
How hard can it be?
I've just done the mole machine, and I was like, oh, blimey, this is... we're definitely stepping out of the realms of sensible now. And I got the text message saying that they had accidentally driven at a whole bunch of monks. And I think the intimation... I think it's a GTA reference, but I think the intimation was that you were going to have to deal with lots of blood, but sadly not.
You done the Curiosity rover?
Yeah, but I very, very, very briefly had a look at it because that's a like an optional level. Are these broken? I think they are. But yeah, I was just curious because I've just done the mayor's house and the mole machine. And I was quite impressed at the sort of... I think that a lot of it, this is something you mentioned about a different game, I can't remember what it was. The level design is fantastic. Like, you've got big open flat areas and little fiddly areas and lots of variety and not just the same stuff over and over and over again. Like, the skate park is all huge curves and flat areas. And some of the other levels are also these annoying little nooks and crannies and you have to duck and it's... surprising amount of variety, and I think they've overall done a brilliant job on the variety of the game. Given what I'm working on, I also want to see if we can give Viscera Cleanup Detail a bash on Monday, I think. I was curious, by the way. Is it list the number of maximum players? Oh, wow, they're still patching it. Are they doing a new one? Oh, they're porting it to UE4. Oh, that would be nice. Viscera Cleanup Detail max players. Please be 8. 32. Nice. That's what we like to see in our games.
Yes, we do.
Just 32 star, it might slow down. Because, I mean, the raft just went, don't have more than 4 players. I think we peaked at 12 or 13. And I have fixed some issues with microprocessors. I think it's a bug. Oh man, This game does look so good, though, in so many ways.
I always like to consider that those statements of don't have more than 4 are aimed more at the more casual players, the people that are meeting minimum specs may be recommended.
Yes. I think more of a suggestion.
And I'm sitting here, I have no idea how much money I've spent on my computer. It's an ever-evolving project.
Yeah, I was experiencing horrendous dialogue box lag in Unity today, but I don't think a bigger computer would solve it. Some of it is just poor design. Like the old particle system, a change is instant. I can drag the slider up and down and get instant reactions. In the new Unity particle system, it's a 7 to 10 second turnaround, which quite frankly is not acceptable. I'm really, really very annoyed that that is the case. But yeah, I'm waiting for the... Oh, Malcolm did correct me, but I wasn't really listening. Something. The new Intel ones with... I want DDR5, so it'll be a new motherboard. Probably what I'll just do is I get a whole new computer, retire my Windows 7 computer finally, and I did because I'm a power user. When I upgraded my computer, I didn't get rid of the old one. I just put my old one as a second monitor, so it still runs. That's the one with Facebook and email and all that crap on it, and then the this computer is just dev and games. But I'll probably just end up with 3 computers because
Are you still on the starting system?
yes, I am. Currently just fixing stuff that's jammed up. Right, so that's actually saturated, so let's... But why do you ask?
I was thinking that we should probably try to be more interstellar.
Well,
We
I'm...
are doing like more sessions that you are standing on the home system.
I know. I'm not... Like a lot of the stuff, I'm not even moving away from the research facility. But yeah, I've just gone to Matty for the first time in ages, and oh wow, does our Dyson sphere look some impressive from here. That is just ultra cool. After this research, I was going to increase our maximum power again, and then increase the speed of our warps. Again, with no facility for us to introspect the logistics. I've no idea if, for example, getting an upgrade to our logistics flying speed would be helpful or not helpful. I really no idea, and there's no way to tell. It's the annoying thing. Now, how the hell am I going to mirror this? That's this line. Oops. Neat. Guess I'll do one at 90 degrees. And then one at 90 degrees is there. Okay, well that's wrong, but You need little when you're doing Windows dialogues, you get these little alignment lines to show you what it's going to sort of snap to along different axes. It needs that. Oh, that's wrong. I do love it when I build something now, the sheer like whoosh of spaceship, like loads of spaceships start launching. That should mean, hopefully, it's a bit easier to do. That line there. I just pop that there temporarily and quickly. It's there, there, and fill that in. I might be one out, but no one will notice. Imagine making a tiny out error on the placing of your Dyson sphere, because that's that. I would literally be hundreds of thousands, if not millions of miles out of where I should be. Oh, hold on. That's wrong. Should it be... In single player, I can pause it. I can't really do that here. That one.
Which makes it all the more impressive.
Yeah, but the thing is, well, partly it's spinning, which doesn't help. And also, when I click, immediately rocket ships take off to try and make that. There we go.
Oh, I never noticed the different patterns.
It's new. That's a this patch thing. Oh, now that's fast. That's all queued up on the research systems. Bosh. What are we short on? Oh. Stacking, alright. Oh. Are we getting sent microprocessors from any... processors from any other place?
Probably. Maybe even multiple.
It's that confidence I like.
Excellent. And it's that kind of confidence that you will get.
I haven't done a big centralized place for that, but I have some auxiliary things for that.
That's it. Ah. Because I'm not sure. Maybe Henry stuff is beginning to run out of resources. Possibly. Because that's what happens. As the nodes dissipate, the production just drops. I can't tell. Because I don't know his system big enough. But what I'll do is I'll set this one up with warpers. And I will see if that gets enough microprocessors. Because we're just not getting enough. We're getting like massive bursts of them. No, apparently not. My deduction is there are no processors outside of this system available. I mean, Hot Singles has got a lot. I do feel this game needs a higher tier assembling machine and a higher tier plane smelter. Like, double is just not enough. I can always make twice as many, but I really want 10 times as many. I'll give it a small hand boost. I think though we've got through about 4 million coal on Dora World, and we only have. Why is that not being proliferated? We do not have 4 million coal left. So that is something we should also consider to be a potential issue before too long. And we are getting through a lot of coal for proliferation. What are we on? Extra products, okay, that's fine. Come on, where's these bloody processors? Oh, here comes a 720 of them. I do also feel potentially the proliferators are way too generous. Like, proliferated accelerant, it just lasts forever. It's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. I guess maybe it needs to, maybe it is balanced. Do either of you think you should have available processors, or is en masse processors not something you've ever done? So I can probably head back to hot singles and upgrade a lot of the stuff up to Mark 3s, especially if I grab a shit ton of particle broadband before I go.
I think trying to up cheap production in Star that was is not. Like, we want to offload the production of system.
Yes. Oh, I wasn't going to try and do it on Dora World. Gosh, no.
Not even hot singles is in the same system.
Yes, true. Is there a reason you want to do it off system particularly?
I feel it's going to get too crowded if we like that stay in the same system.
What? I'm not sure we're running out of room on hot singles. Not quite yet. But yeah, I don't know if you've seen the microprocessor setup we've got. I just feel that we're playing a tower defense game, and instead of teching up, we're just spaffing loads and loads and loads of basic towers. And the worst thing is, we're winning. We also have 23,000 solar cells in orbit, by the way, so I think we might be that might need switching off.
So we can do other systems with
No.
sail?
No, because we've got nearly 6 gigawatts of Dyson shell, and that is forever. And then we have almost a gigawatt, or 800 watts, sorry, of Dyson swarm. Over 23,000. But yeah, I was going to suggest
Can you run the numbers again?
There's 23,000 solar cells in orbit. That's the important thing, and it's not even producing 15% of our electricity. And those are temporary resources. That's the bit. It's the temporary bit that I'm concerned about.
I was supposed to check on that why were not empty accumulators being sent. There's some charging set up on a perpetual day world in.
Yeah. But we are potentially to the point where we could consider... I mean, basically, you guys should probably design a Dyson sphere. At the very least. And we have no lack of solar sails. Or spaceships, really. I mean, there are many, many spaceships just kind of sitting around. Okay, those are actually failing to offload, that's fine. I mean, that's going to be faster because these are... The next step would be to proliferate, but there's no coal of any note on this planet, so that would be a big pain in the arse. Unfortunately, Henry did make the classic mistake of building this stuff north-south, not east-west. So as you move towards north or south, stuff gets narrower. But as you go around the planet, it stays nice and wide the whole time. Trout Key, we are using a mod called... Nah, I forgot what it's called now. Nebula. Yeah, we're using Nebula 8.2.0. It is compatible with the latest version of Dyson Sphere program. We've had, I think, 8 people playing it. It's pretty good. Recommended. Definitely. What? Collide with other objects? Shut up. What object? Definitely recommended. Maybe if I give it power, I'll get a graphic. I'm not sure why you laughed, though. You said how to get multiplayer lol. I cannot help with the lol part. That's good, buddy. Got. Come on, can I get all of those? Can't rotate. Oh, I can rotate these gently. Okay. That might be all of it. I don't know what LGHT means, sorry. Oh, "ite" as in alright. Yeah, if you Google Nebula, Dyson Sphere program, Nebula mod, you should find it. We have worked with the devs to fix some of the performance issues it was having. It's got an awful lot better since we started, which is good. Oh man, I'm out of quantum chips. Could be a little bit faster anyway. In fact, it's fast to the point where now we're waiting on microcrystalline components, not processors, so that's good. I'm going to turn off the launching of solar sails because what we've got is going to take a couple of hours to be absorbed.
Okay.
But there's nothing stopping you beginning to start requesting solar sails to your ones. I just kind of feel, honestly, that the artificial star is possibly a bit too good. You do need a Dyson Sphere in order to get the mats for it, but you get an awful lot of energy for very little outlay. Which is a pity, because your chat message nearly killed me. Well, I nearly missed the planet. Where are the launchers on this planet?
So you're texting and sailing.
It's not my fault the dialogue box popped up. Our Dyson Sphere says... Lock down. Then there's some cool bits in the middle. I said we're getting to the point now where I'm beginning to encourage the others to start thinking about their own Dyson Sphere. You can do a giant cock and balls in space, or you can have something that's aesthetically pleasing instead, rather than the last chicken in the shop look. Yeah, I'll cut that off. I'll pop a reasonable storage on here, but those ones we've got are going to take a extremely long time to process. Oh wow, and there's 18,000 solar sails on Matty, like in the logistics station. It's a shame I can't, in the Dyson Sphere thing, set the limit of how many solar sails I want. Just saying, don't look, keep 1,000 up there. Skull the Skeleton King. We are playing Dyson Sphere program, and in Dyson Sphere program you can make your Dyson Sphere any way you like, including a massive pair of boobs or balls. So my system has a neat and wonderful Dyson Sphere. We'll see what the others come up with. I don't even know if you can. We've not tried, have we?
Do what?
To actually a client to edit a Dyson Sphere. I don't even know if it works.
I guess we don't. I would be surprised that if it didn't.
Do I stream Factorio? No. Factorio is a competitor of a game that I write, and I don't find the game very good, to be honest. This is, I understand this is not opinion shared by everyone, but I personally don't think very much of it. Your mileage may vary. So I'm going to turn these off in a clunky ass way. And then...
If you haven't tried Fortress Craft, I guess your opinion is partly invalid.
If you like, I wrote a game called Fortress Craft. If you like your Factorios or your Dyson Sphere programs or your what's the other one? Satisfactories. It's a game in the same genre, sort of a logistics factory game. But I don't think much of Factorio. I found it very, very simple. It only had one form of energy. For how long was it before they got? I forgot they called it. It was a stupid. It wasn't steam engines. They called it something else. But like it only had steam power for about 2 years or something. I don't. No,
it was steam and solar.
Did it have solar? I can't remember.
It did.
It's been that long.
But yeah, it was like 2 years until they even brought up what was nuclear or something like that. And I was like, this doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So, okay.
I'd lost interest in the game long before then. I found the tower defense aspects just a massive ball ache. Not fun, just a ball ache. Speaking of which,
I'm happy with one mode or the other, but I don't know. Doing both tasks, it's too much.
Wait, Uranium only came in a year ago. My God, what are they doing? Oh, Rift. Oh, no, I typed in Rift Breaker. I wonder if Rift Breaker's added multiplayer yet. Nope. It seems so. Rift Breakers. I've done Rift Breaker. I've totally done the campaign, and it's fucking brilliant. And it amused me. They're still patching and balancing it. I haven't touched the survival stuff because that will be great for stream, because we can set our own difficulty and then go for like an hour long attempt at doing stuff. So we can have like 3 attempts in an evening. And yeah, it combines, to my mind, tower defense and logistics in a much better way. In Factorio, it just the tower defense aspect wasn't fun. It was just a pain in the ass. Like having to run ammo out to the guns. I just skipped all that. I went straight for lasers, so I wasn't having to run belts everywhere. It was just, I don't know. Wait.
You know what else would be awesome in VR and multiplayer? Hard Space Shipbreaker.
Yes, I know the people who wrote that, and I already bitched them when they said it was single player and not VR. Like, are you serious? Like, genuinely. Wait, Factorio ended development a year ago? What are you talking about?
It released.
Like, the last patch was January the 21st. What are you talking about?
They moved into the sequel.
They released version 1.153 or less than a month ago. Now they're doing an expansion pack. But I don't know why you think the development of the game has ended.
I think they're referring to the initial development phase. The early access ended.
Well, right, but that's not the same as development, is it?
It seems to be slipping earlier and earlier.
Sadly, it seems that some companies think so.
Well, I'd like to see more early access. My issue with the early access is that most of the games in early access are not. Like, most of the games in early access are more accurately described as late betas. Astroneer is a good example. When Astroneer shipped, it was a complete game. It was a bit thin, but it was polished. It looked good. Most of the stuff worked. Same with Valheim. You're like, there's a whole game here. This isn't early access. It's stretched thin across the progression, but it's not early access. With a lot of these early access games, the polished ones are the ones that progress slowly because they need to get the level of polish up high. And if you have played Astroneer, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Right, but they are still making small updates, and that's what we call development. What you're saying is they're not giving away any more stuff for free. That's what you're saying, isn't it? Let's see how many copies it's sold, shall we? Let's see. So bear in mind, I patched Fortress Craft to the point where I was actively losing money on it. Factorio has sold somewhere in the region of 7.5 million copies. Right? And they are charging, and I know they famously said they're never going into a sale, right? So let's have a look. So 7.5 million copies, £21.
Wait, and that's just on Steam?
They have made 157 million. Now let's knock off the Steam tax. Oops, didn't mean to do that. I was close enough. They've made 120 million? 120 million pounds they've made, and they're charging you for expansion packs. They can get fucked. I wouldn't touch that with a barge pole. They have enormous amounts of cash. Go look at No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky has given out oh my god, the amount of content they've given, I won't say for free, I paid for it, but because they have made so much money, they continue to give you stuff for free. But what Factorio did, I mean, Factorio's endless we're never going to go into a sale. They've made enough money to never work ever again, and they're charging you for continued dev work. Not interested. That is not the mark of an indie company. That is the mark of a big company. They still self-publish? I can't remember if they got bought out by anybody. So yeah, even if I was playing it, that sort of thing would put me right off. But they still got we're just this little dev team. Oh yeah, we're doing this because we love it. Yeah, of course you are.
So you're saying that you were losing money on Fortress Craft?
Absolutely.
If you can set your own salary, how do you define where that loss point is?
Well, if my salary doesn't pay for, my food and mortgage, that's a problem. So yeah, that's kind of my that's the important bit. Like I have a minimum salary past which my bank account is draining rather than holding steady. But Fortresscraft was not selling massively well towards the end. Like, you know, a third of what I need to live on, something like that. But I continue to patch it because I love it. And, you know, in my heart, I was hoping that it would grow again. If I had £120 million in the bank, £120 million, I would not be going, oh, I'm charging you for an expansion. Except for if I could give away Fortresscraft for free and still have loads of money in the bank, I would totally have done that. I want people to play it. I really do. But unfortunately, I have a cat and she demands that I buy her endless toys that she can break. And this is very important to her. Just upgrading the Dyson shell thing again, because I kind of want to have the next layer as a thicker ring but going sideways, so I'm going to build it this way but then spin it that way. I'm flailing my hands around. Just pretend you can see me flailing my hands around.
I do care about the thing, so please don't erase.
I won't. I always ask. I'm going to grab a drink while that thing goes. You don't think this match is going to cost money?
That is double. What? Yeah, that's double what I paid for the base game. Wow, they bumped it up to 25. When I got it, it was still down at 15.
Whoa, so they're going to charge more for the expansion for the base game. See, I'd boycott that shit. Boycott companies who are doing shit you don't agree with. This is why I would not purchase a Bethesda game due to the whole scrolls.
The price for Factorio has only ever been increasing over time.
Not since they've left early access, because you can't. So, which is why the expansion will cost more.
Maybe they stayed on early access long in order to keep a foot door for that.
Oh yes, but it's no longer early access, is it?
I would think that it's hard to determine a fair price for a game, because I'm thinking that many customers don't know about the size of the dev team, and some AAA games have big staffs that kind of warrant big development costs.
I feel the price of the game is fair. I think we need to encourage more expensive prices for games, full stop. Games are too cheap. Certainly stuff like Fortress Craft, Satisfactory, Dyson Sphere Program. I mean, the cost per hour of playing these games is just stupid. It's so low. And I think we should normalise paying more for this, really. Dora is having power issues. Yeah, all of the chargers are offline.
Can you check whether Matti is sending out empty
I was
accumulators?
just going to have a look. Well, it's not, because obviously I don't have... Oh, empty. Doing full.
Empty, I mean.
Oh, as I clicked, 1,000 accumulators just arrived. Hold on. Sharky, why do you think they need money? What part of they have £120 million in the bank makes you think they need money to write an expansion? I'm very curious why you think that. What your reasoning is.
Is it better that Dyson Sphere programmers don't do anything because they are already rich, or that factory adults ask for more money for infinite greed?
No, hold on. Trap Key, they have $130 million in the bank. If they are paying their workers in total $1 million a year, and they never sell another copy of the game, they can run the game for another 160 years. So I ask you again, why do they need money for an expansion?
Because the boss is taking tens of millions and there's only $500,000 per person left.
I mean, you joke, but that has happened many times.
Am I?
Well, possibly not. I mean, I believe Factorio is a team of 15 people, if memory serves. 28. And they are Hungarian, I think. Czech Republic, Prague. So $1 million a year for 30 people is not an unreasonable wage for that area. So in the 5 years they've been going, they've spent $5 million and they've earned $200 million. So I ask you again, why do you think they need the money? Because you said they need the money, not they deserve it or they should have it, they need it. And I do not understand your thinking. Did you say it was Matty where they are?
Yeah.
So bear in mind, Troutkey, I am a game developer of 23 years, a professional game developer of 23 years. I have been full-time indie for 12 years. My world is about the commercial development of computer games. I live and breathe this stuff. This is why I'm curious, because obviously your point of view can be completely different because you are a consumer. I am a producer, and I find the argument that they've made so much money and they deserve more mind-boggling. And again, I compare you to No Man's Sky, because No Man's Sky made an awful lot of money, but not quite that much, and they continue to give out content for free. No, what? But they have. Am I speaking gibberish? They have, probably in dollars, probably $200 million in the bank. They can update and patch Factorio for the rest of time and never run out of money in the bank. Why do they need more money? And I think No Man's Sky, I mean, I think Hello Games should be massively applauded for what they've done. Because they have taken what was already one of my favourite games and continued to add more and more and more content. They've done an incredible job of continually working on this already wonderful game for free. Because they made loads of money and they said, well, we've made loads of money. We don't really need more.
I guess there's a disconnect because for customers, the games that are doing well cost similarly to the games that are not making well or are at the range of making loss.
Yes, I mean, but both Factorio and No Man's Sky have been massively successful. The point I'm trying to make is the difference of attitude, which is No Man's Sky care about the team, they care about the community, and they want people to be happy and to love their game. Whereas the Factorio guys come across like they're grabbing money, which is not a bad thing. I mean, I like to point out people go, oh, they're a sellout. Like, trust me, if Microsoft offered me $3 billion to have my IPs, take it, and I will invite you guys all over to my party at my private island.
I guess there's a mismatch where the story that applies to the other devs are being applied to the people that are well off.
Okay, they're trying to keep their fan base happy by charging you more money for the expansion than for the base game. How is that keeping the fan base happy? Would the fan base not be happier with exactly the same game but free? Matty's charging just fine, by the way. I don't know if it only charges okay at certain times of day.
Sending away empty accumulators?
Sending empties away, i.e.
Yeah.
No.
Off system. Please make so.
Well, I can't. We can't do that. There's no way to set that up. How would you like me to do that without pulling the empties off of Dora World?
Can you limit it to be like very small supply of accumulators? Like make it satisfied with the demand.
If I set it to remote supply, it will no longer retrieve the empty accumulators in Dora World.
Keep it on remote demand, but make the limit so that it's on the white. Like now it's waiting for, and it's starving the other demand. So make it so it doesn't starve the other demand.
What other demand? From where?
Off-world demand. Off-system demand.
Does Dora World have an accumulator offload with warpers?
I don't know about warpers. That might be the missing link.
The thing is, I don't think you should be using accumulators anymore. I think you should have moved on to artificial stars.
I am so familiar with them. What are the numbers on that? 72 megawatts per one.
No.
Semi-rare materials. And one charger is 45.
No, you're not taking into account proliferation. I don't know why you think KSP2 will be the same as KSP1.
Production speed up.
Yeah. Let me head back and look at the numbers because we are actually running it. Yeah, I don't know why you think Kerbal Space Program 2 will be the same as 1. Kerbal Space Program 1 was not much more than a tech demo. It was embarrassingly poor in a number of ways. And 2, it's got a lot of money behind it and should be great. I think my point I'm trying to make is that I feel that Hello Games have done the correct approach for an indie studio for what you do when you've made it really big. You support your fan base and you keep them happy and you continue to work on your game. Financially, that might not be the most sensible option, but when you have, and I seem like I'm repeating this, $200 million in the bank, it's probably at that point, it's hard to justify charging your user base more money. Not really, because you're talking about an expansion pack to Factorio, not a sequel. Also, KSP2 looks very, very different to KSP1. Where's my sons? I'm not sure that really does apply. I mean, if I have to explain to you the difference between a sequel and an expansion pack, then there's somewhere. But what does that have to do with anything? Are Factorio not a tiny little indie company who make games for the love of it? Or are they a company who is driven by profit and greed? I mean, you already know the answer to this. You do, because it's the only game out there that doesn't go on to sale because they wanted to make more money, and they're charging you a fortune for the base game despite being a cash-rich company. So you already know the answer to this. $200 million, that's enough to run your company for the rest of your life. That is genuinely at Ukraine level. Was it Ukraine, Prague, Czechoslovakia? That's genuinely 200 years of cash flow.
Does it change much if you think that they're spending it now in the US or Britain?
Oh my god, yeah. Yeah, because in the US, that doesn't go anywhere near as far. I don't know if you know Double Fine, ran by Tim Schafer, but I got into an argument with him on Twitter because he was complaining about people complaining about the cost of games. He goes, well, their salaries are expensive. I'm like, your studio's in the heart of San Francisco. You could not have found a more expensive place pretty much in the whole world.
You're not wrong there.
But Troutkey, again, they could run their studio for 200 years with 30 people in it and never need to make a single dime. It makes 72 meg. Oh, am I not? I am proliferating. Oh, I'm not proliferating it. Oh my god, I'm such a loser. Oh man, there's no. How about you? Oh, all right. Please hold. Proliferating. Find some circuit boards. But so they don't just have.
Set up empty accumulator export.
I don't see how you want me to do it without breaking Dora World. I set the clamp, which is fine. But Dora World. I mean, I can check if Dora World's got accumulators in a moment. Oh, but I've lost the sun now. Where was it? Come on, it's quite big. Factorio pays 100,000 a year in taxes. Right. So, I suspect they probably pay a bunch more than that, but you only pay taxes on profit. If I have $200 million in the bank, the government does not take some of that money away from me every single year. They only take money away from the growth in my bank account. Well, Tad, I mean, part of the mission statement of all my streams is to educate people about how game development actually is. Not the version that EA puts out, not the version that what was it called, the indie game the movie, not that crap. The actual real story about how you do it. And I don't get me wrong. I don't begrudge them the money they made. I think they've done an amazing job. I just am confused to see people actively defending them being a bunch of money-grubbing fucks. I really do not understand that attitude. To me, that is a completely different approach to the one that I would and have taken with my games for God knows how many years now. Like, I wish that Fortress Craft had made enough money so I could have continued forever. I'd have been mega happy, but that was not to be the case. I just go around the back. Let's go around the back. There's something. Oh, right. My artificial star keeps turning off because we're full on power. What? No. Okay. Trap key. They have $200 million in the bank. I can't prove that, but I'm probably not very far off. Okay? They have $200 million in the bank. No ifs, no buts. They have $200 million in the bank. Next year, they will have $200 million in the bank if they don't spend any. The year after, they will still have $200 million in the bank. You don't pay tax on money you have in the bank. It's not how it works. You only pay tax on profit. If you earn $1 million, you might pay $300,000, but you never pay more tax than you earn. That's not a thing. So they might pay a lot of tax, but that's because they made a lot of money. It's not, you don't just pay tax because you're rich. I wish that was the case. The world would be a lot better place if that was the case, but sadly it's not. I think they're extremely greedy. They're the only... To put it another way, though, I take my hat off to them for even trying to fix the clusterfuck that is Steam's revenue process. You know, sales, race to the bottom, all that stuff. Because even Valve aren't very happy with the race to the bottom for sales. Really not, they're not. And I think Factorio are good on them for saying we're not going into a sale. Sales are going to be the death of the games industry. I shipped a game in a bundle. It wasn't the Humble bundle, it was a different one. I think we sold 150,000 copies. The bundle sold for 25 cents. I was making, I believe it was 2 cents per sale. It was 2.5 cents before they took their cut. So this means if I sold 1 million copies of my game, I wouldn't have enough money to live off of. But a trout key, I mean, don't get me wrong. As I said, I feel that they have done good on them for making that much money. I think that's brilliant. I wish more games made a lot of money. But to argue that with having been that successful to make even more money off of what they're doing, and not to sort of go, you know, have you not made enough money? Because yes, you know, like I said, I am approaching this as a developer who, I mean, Fortress Craft made about 1% of that money to sort of compare and contrast. I'm a smaller dev team, about 10% of their dev team size, but I continue to patch the game because I love it for a long time. The expansion packs I sold were because I had to try and make more money, to try and keep developing for longer. I don't know. KSP makes about $180 a month. What? What are you talking about? Hey, Max.
There's a difference on how much there's burden on the customer and what's the total pots that they are like accumulating.
Well, I think it's the difference between the company. So KSP is owned by Take-Two, which are one of the largest developers in the world, one of the largest publishers in the world, if not the largest. Their mission goal is to make money. I thought Factorio was a little indie team who love working on stuff, and they're there for that. They're either a lovely indie team who are there to make stuff for you because they love making games, or they're a bunch of money-grubbing cunts. Those are the only two types of developer. I realise I'm being a little bit dramatic with that, but that's it. You're either there to make games as your passion. Max, has been an update to the mod if you're joining.
No, I'm not joining, but I would like to now. I feel a bit.
Yeah, so they're either there to make money because they have shareholders, or they're there to make games because they love it. If they're there to make games because they love it, they ain't gonna be charging you for the expansion. They don't need the money. That's the important thing, is they don't need the money. What are you talking about? Factorio makes $20 a month on average? What are you talking about?
Who are you talking to?
A guy on the internet. You're telling me that Factorio sells about 3/4 of a copy a month? Because I don't think you're right. Yeah, we're struggling for power on Dora again. The discharges are all gone. Do you mean Factorio makes 20,000? No. I mean, Factorio will be making probably somewhere between $2 and $20 million a month. Not 20. 20 is definitely wrong. Where is our proliferation setup? I think what happens, Shalka, is when the daytime comes up, I think I'm siphoning all the power at the Dyson sphere for antimatter. And then when Dora spins around, we have enough power left over. No, Mike, that's not true. Take-Two bought Kerbal Space Program to make money, and then properly hired all of the developers. Then they started up a new company and then properly put all of the developers. All of the developers, barring a few people at the very top of the food tree, are from KSP1. There was quite some drama about it. Oh, we're at Diamonds.
What was the drama about?
Yes, Max?
So I was going to ask, is there information about the update in the chat?
Yes, there's chat. There's a chat system now.
I thought it was the prison architect devs that went off to go do something else because and so they sold prison architect off to Paradox.
I'm saying that my best guess is that Factorio has something like $200 million in the bank. It's a public company. You can probably just look up how much they've made. That's my guess, given the fact they don't go into sale and how many how many things they've sold. But I will happily take you through the Factorio story. Factorio. Kerbal Space Program. Yeah. Oh, it's interesting. Where did you get 28.5 million from? It's off 7.5. Unless my maths are wrong, 7.5 million copies at £21 a copy, or €30, is 225 million. So I don't know where you got 28.5 million from, because that is a tenth of what I'm estimating. I mean, I might be wrong. That does happen. I think it happened June 97. I think I was wrong then. I think that's the last time. Oh, Max is joining.
Landing on Ash.
Oh,
No, I'm not.
No, it's not. Shaka is landing. I'm souping up our diamond production.
Is the update for the patch, for the mod, sorry,
On the mod, on the launcher. Yeah, you can just update via the launcher now.
oh, okay. I'll just say update all.
Right.
There we go.
Okay, Troutkey. What you said was, as you said they made 28.5 million, and then you said a very, very important sentence, and I'll say the sentence quickly. If you figure that, the important word there is if. First of all, I estimate they've sold 7.5 million copies. Secondly, I say they've sold them at €30 ago, or $30 ago. I don't know where you've got 2 million copies. The maths holds up, but they haven't sold 2 million copies. And I don't know where you got an average of $20 from either, because it's not been $20 for some years. It's also, and I mean, I'd say, I mean, no disrespect to you, but I mean, I find it fascinating how naive and uninformed a lot of people are about the games industry and how the games industry works. And like, again, I don't know how old you are, I don't know where you're from, but you don't seem to understand how taxes work either. Which boggles my mind that you think that if you have $200 million in the bank, you have to pay taxes on that. You don't. That's not how taxes work. What?
Question to join?
It's good to join. Chowkey, where are you getting 1 million sales from? From what I can tell, much closer to 10 million than 1 million. Now, seems by it's not brilliantly accurate, but it does ballpark pretty well. Either way, I compare you back to No Man's Sky and Hello Games, and I think that they have set a fantastic example for game developers. And I might just buy the Switch version just to support them, given that Griff gave me the Xbox One for free. Okay, now I need to run the coal this way to be proliferated. I got the wrong coal proliferated.
A lot of you problem.
Right. And when did they announce that? You know that you have to look at date stamps on things, right? Because I think Factoria sold 1 million copies probably about 7 years ago. Yeah. Okay. So according to Wikipedia, they have sold 2.5 million copies.
Oh god, that announcement was ages ago.
Yeah, they reckon that they sold 2.5 million copies, but at the beginning of last year. So, assuming everything else is correct, that means, I apologise, they only have $80 million in the bank, not 200 million. That does not change anything I've said. However, I
Going to Matty to hook up things.
let's have a look. Yeah, but let's say 2.5 million, and I noticed that they funneled the money into a different company called Woob Software, which is obviously a tax dodging exercise. Yes, it is. Don't argue. Yeah, they've only made 80 million. I apologise, it's not 200 million. This does not change anything I've said one iota. But as of over a year ago, they had sold 2.5 million copies.
Is that more like a decade per person rather than best of life? That's not a small change.
Sorry, what?
Like if you divide 80 million by 15, then that's a couple million per person. That's not for lifetime anymore.
No. Well, again, don't compare Finland, which is quite a high cost of living, with Czechoslovakia, which is much lower. I'm vaguely ballparking their team costs can run on $1 million a year, which is about $30,000 a year, which is not outrageous. That would mean they have enough money in the bank to run for 80 years. I think they're going to be okay. No, 80, not 18. If I had $80 million in the bank, 80, I would not be charging for expansion packs. That's the point I'm trying to make. No Man's Sky have made similar sorts of money as what you're saying. I feel that they have set an extremely good example for the whole industry, to be honest. I think Hello Games have done a superb job. And yes, I know they're friends. That's not the point. I still, even if I didn't know them, I didn't play No Man's Sky because I liked them. I played No Man's Sky because it's brilliant. And I really feel they've done such a wonderful job in improving and adding to the game for free since the game came out. And as I said, I might buy the Switch version just to support them. Oh, if it's got crossplay. Oh, I could play it on the Switch. So, again, Trucky, just to bear in mind, I said, this is my life. My life is computer games. I need to understand profit and loss and what makes a good game and what doesn't, and how much games sell for, how much should games sell for, value for money, ROI. This is my business. So I do approach it from a different point of view to a gamer who might just go, cool, $15, click, done, and don't think any more about it. Oh, we're at greens.
Then you make statements like people should boycott, but they don't have the information basis to know why it would be a good move to boycott.
Well, I personally wouldn't, but I have done my research. I mean, boycotts don't really work very well. See the Call of Duty boycott. We're at graviton lenses. That's not so good. That might just be the power we are having. So I'm pretty sure that when the antimatter farm comes online, that we run out of power. Because we're sucking too much out of the Dyson sphere. Oh. However, our strange matter farm appears to be going fine. That sucks. Mike, it's quite likely, realistically, the Fortress Craft 2 will make more money from Patreon than it will from sales. I have obviously continued to accumulate Patreon money, and that gives me quite a lot of money to spend on things like advertising and getting extra content made, all that sort of stuff. Well, no, so as I mentioned, if you told me that Minecraft, that Mojang had sold out by selling their company to Microsoft for $3.5 billion, I would have laughed at you. Like, you too, dude, you'd sell at your mum for $3.5 billion. Like, I guarantee you, anyone who has got their head screwed on would probably give up their kidneys or one of their lungs for $3.5 billion. This is an insane amount of money. So, of course you're going to sell out. If you are in the position where you have, and no offense, mate, fanboys arguing it's okay to charge $30 for an expansion for a company that's extremely rich, my bloody hell will I consider doing it. Of course I would. Who wouldn't? You know, this is you are there to make money at the end of the day, and they have the opportunity to make money. I'm just saying that personally, I find that approach they're taking a little bit distasteful, because they have made so much money, and there are game developers out there, Dwarf Fortress, No Man's Sky, Fortress Craft, that is a labour of love. It is done because the developer truly loves their game and they want people to play it, and that's what motivates them, not money. And yes, I know you could argue that the Factorio devs are only doing it to so they can make more games in the future. That is a valid point. I think they've made enough to run their company for a very long time. Actually, Tad, I do need to chat at some point. I've just bought a thing, and Max might be interested in this. So I bought and let me see if I can find the Amazon order, because I'm not even going to describe it correctly. So what it lets you do is convert battery-powered items into USB-powered items. Well, I was excited by it. And it's great. So it's a USB cable. and it has in it puts the correct amount of voltage in the battery, and then it comes with 2 fake batteries that are weird, so they don't do anything. So Dora's toy, she's got a battery powered thing, and now I just have to plug in a USB cable and it works because it runs through quite a lot of stuff. But I love this. I need to find a cheap one because it's a bit expensive off Amazon, but I have so many things like Rock Band. My Rock Band setup is wireless. It's such a pain in the arse because it gets through batteries at a rate of knots. So I might get one. I might actually just pop one while I'm thinking about it because I think that's 6 volts. 30 pence delivery.
You said that companies are either labors of love or they're there to make money.
Yes.
You have an argument why the middle ground doesn't exist.
Argue to me why the middle ground does exist. I can't prove a negative. The argument would be if you are somewhere in the middle, you're kind of just about making enough money to survive on, but not enough to really guarantee your next game. That you might be more willing to do that. But as the thing is, I guess the argument against it is, as a rule, sadly, in the games industry, games either make a shit ton of money or a whacking great loss. They don't tend to sit in a middle ground. It's either so most iOS developers live below the poverty line, but the top 1%, the top 0.1% are raking in, as we know from the Blizzard sale, hundreds of billions of dollars a year, hundreds of millions of dollars a year. Crazy money.
And do you have a model why it is for games that way?
It's for everything. It's for films. It's for music. It's for all creative stuff.
For creative stuff. And it's more balanced for physical stuff.
Probably not, actually. I mean, this is the thing. Once something gets very popular, that's the thing that everybody wants. And even though there might be a better one out there, they won't go near it. Mike, I bear in mind, Fortress Craft predates Factorio. It's very, very old. To say it's more approachable is difficult because Factorio is vastly simpler than Fortress Craft. Satisfactory used the hindsight of Factorio and Fortress Craft when it developed its game. So I think it's more approachable, but they had a massive team, massive budget, and hindsight. Fortress Craft was as good and as approachable as I could make it. I have a rough idea of how much money Direwolf made me, and it's quite a lot of money. So Direwolf streamed my game, and if I could have got more streamers to stream it, I would have. And I trust me, I have messaged so many streamers over the years going, hello, would you please play my game? And I'd like to say the answer was no, but they don't even respond. I'm not big enough to hire the big streamers. The little streamers aren't worth me even bothering with, and the medium ones aren't very organised. So I'm kind of sitting a middle ground. I did pay for one video, and it cost $2,000, and it was an absolute fucking waste of time. Like an unbelievable and incredible waste of time. Has anybody seen my artificial star? As in, where is it? Not have you seen it? It's very hard to see when it's off. I'm just going to burn more, whatever it is, fuel rods, because Dora's running out of power every night now. But only because...
The off system charging is going to kick up also.
Okay. Do you have any launchers for spaceships? Have you designed a Dyson sphere?
No,
You should design
it's running on solar right now.
You should design a Dyson sphere.
I'm getting lost tracking all these production lines. Now I had a somewhat funny thing that I was going to check up on what's holding up the strange matter, and that's on the turbines, green coils, and that was on the magnetic rings, which were produced where I left off. Check on strange matter.
As Henry described it, it's called shaving the yak. Something you will never ever finish doing. You will always be shaving the yak. By the time you finish shaving the yak, it's already got, you know, hairy bollocks again. I am looking forward to the Dwarf Fortress release that's got, you know, graphics. I'm hoping they add, you know, a user interface to it.
They do have plan, and that's the thing that is happening.
I know I know it's getting a Steam release with graphics, but I don't know if they're actually going to add, you know, a sensible user interface. It's still a massively impenetrable game, and this is what pisses me off. No offense, Mike, when you say things like, "Oh, Fortress Craft could be a runaway success if it was more approachable." Are you telling me that Fortress Craft is less approachable than Dwarf Fortress? Because I'll fight you if you say that.
With a stick.
Beaten with a dwarf. I fucking lost it again. Where is my...
The impenetrable UI interface does pose a challenge that gives you like a sense of mastery that you use it.
Sure.
It kind of turns it into content.
So does Fortress Craft. That's my excuse for terrible UI. But yeah, this is my point. Fortress Craft is more accessible than a large number of games. Huge number of games. And I don't know why I get this argument leveled against me quite so much. Oh, we haven't beat it yet. We can beat it. If any of you guys want to beat the game, let me know and I'll click the button.
Oh, sorry, that's beat the meat, not beat the game.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's something else. If you could do that off stream, that would be appreciated, sir. I don't know what makes Dwarf Fortress so special. I think so. You often see, you know, what do you think is one of the most overrated games? And Zelda, I feel, is very overrated. Dwarf Fortress, I feel, is very overrated. And bear in mind, that doesn't mean it's bad. That just means it receives more attention than it should for what it is. Now, I think Zelda's massively overrated. I really do. But that doesn't mean it's not good. It just means it gets talked about more than I think it should.
I think Dwarf Fortress is doing some unique things with storytelling, and I don't know whether you are like not so up on the storytelling side.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't do anything. You do that.
But it like has the setup that makes the player naturally do the thing.
You might. I don't. You might as well just argue that GTA allows you to naturally create stories, which is kind of true, but there's nothing to do with the game. That's what you're doing with the game.
That's like saying that hypnotist doesn't have skills and hypnotism is a scam if the hypnotist can't hypnotize you.
Yeah, that's a bad example because that's probably is what I would say. But no, nothing in that game encourages you to make your own story. I think a better example is Lego. You know, Lego and how they really champion you building your own stuff, and you buy boxes of Lego and it's make whatever you like. Fucking bollocks. Lego barely do that. They push their pre-made sets massively, and you have to get into the educational part of Lego before you get anywhere near buying boxes of empty bricks with no instructions. But people will argue, Lego inspires creativity, and you can make your own things, and you can just buy a bunch of Lego. And it's like, it's just not true. Lego do like half a dozen sets of house bits and tires. It's a very, very, very few. That is not what their business model is. And same thing with GTA. I mean, this is, I've said, people say before, I'm like, you could argue that in GTA, if you want to, you can make sculptures out of buses, crash buses. But that doesn't mean that's what the game is or what the game encourages you to do. It's just something you happen to be able to do within the game. I see this cognitive dissonance quite a lot, which is what you've done there, which is you're saying Dwarf Fortress, it lets you make a story, but so does Dyson Sphere program. I mean, probably wouldn't. It'd be a bit weird.
I do think Dwarf Fortress has different properties.
Yeah. But yeah, I know. But the thing is, what is the famous one? Someone remind me. Dwarf Fortress, the famous one. I'll come to that in a second. So I have a story about Dwarf Fortress, you see. My pregnant lady, my pregnant dwarf warrior, ran across the battlefield, stopped to have the baby, and then carried on running. Bronze Murder. Have you heard the story of Bronze Murder?
Only boat murdered.
Bronze Murder is... let me just pop that in the chat. But my point I'm making is that this has nothing to do with Dwarf Fortress. Nothing in Dwarf Fortress is encouraging this. This is people who have played it and made a story about it.
There's enough details and enough density that things like that, they are not flukes. They like regularly happen. And that's a real property that the game has.
Yeah, see, I would argue that people make up stories because the game's kind of boring. In the same way we did pub quizzes because we were waiting for bloody... Icarus.
Have you seen the details of the Warcraft combat messages?
Sorry, I didn't quite get what you said there, sorry.
The combat messages that Warcraft has. Like, it's text-based, but it's the most graphic...
Dwarf Fortress. You said Fortress Craft twice, which is why I was really confused. Yeah, I know. I mean, yes, it says things like, Joanne's once healed leg has now rebroken. I know what you mean. It has lots and lots of interesting detail around which you can make up stories. I completely agree with that.
But like, Spear is piercing the skin of the fourth digit, breaking the middle bone. Like, excruciating detail.
Is Boats Murdered the one where they rebuilt on top of the same fortress with like successive generations or something?
It was handed off between players, so one player plays for a time and then the next player plays.
Yeah.
There's some term for that. Legacy?
Yeah.
Colony? Or something?
That sounds ridiculous and awesome. And where can I find compilations of this stuff?
Oh, hold on. I just had that. That's where I just got. It's a Kotaku thread on it. Yeah, what did I link? Bronze Murder is a fantastic story. Like, it's very good, but it's a lot of it. If you actually read it and then apply it back to, and I have played Dwarf Fortress quite a bit, you apply it back to what the game actually is. There's an awful lot of imagination going on there, and not that much in the way of things that actually happened. If that makes sense.
Yeah, but there happens enough things that you are in the mindset that makes you go in that direction.
Yeah.
Whereas often games are so simplistic that it doesn't spark the imagination in the same way.
Yeah. I mean, one thing I have said many times is that the best games are the ones where you tell stories about it. This is why I like Live for Speed. So we could rewatch any race. Like some of the races last night were fantastic with us in those little smart cars. They were really good. And it's interesting. There's a story to be told about it. RTS games, again, the back and forth. And then I captured this area here, but you have the artillery in range. And cool and interesting stories about stuff that happens. And emergent gameplay is important. And that's something Fortresscraft does lack. But that's kind of on purpose. So Fortresscraft doesn't have emergent gameplay to a large degree. It has problems you have to solve that you made, but it doesn't have emergent gameplay because a lot of that boils down to non-determinacy.
Well, maybe for you it hasn't.
But because it's determinate, you can kind of play everything the same way. So a part of this is the mission statement not to lock anybody out of playing the game. Like this.
If it had lots of stuff, it could be deterministic but chaotic because a human could not track all the systems.
Yeah, but what I mean is you're not forced to run and do things. You don't have to get to a certain place for a certain time and then you can't make it there and then this happens. It wouldn't have happened if you got there. It's deterministic without your bet.
Do we have how many roundtables released for Live for Speed?
Not enough. We should have done some more. I think we would have done one actually. Like
We did some work towards the second, but that's in the editing or something.
I don't remember. I kind of feel we should do breakdown because to my mind, you hit Esmia and then and Esmia hit you. Like you two are definitely at loggerheads as to whose fault it was. And from my point of view, it was quite clear, but you guys seem to have a very different view. And I think that would have been an interesting one. We've obviously got the replays, they're on the server.
I guess we've set an arbitrary goal for the first to have some views, and I guess it never did hit that.
I will
just shy of that.
Check. Oh. How do I search just my videos?
Go on your channel.
No, I hit search and it shows me everything. It's weird, actually. Like
there's like a more like there's channel options. One of them is search.
Yeah. I will just link it. Oh no, I won't because apparently I can't use computers. Yeah, it's got 91 views, and I said if we got to 100, we should do more.
So then people quick look that up.
Well, the thing is, our most popular Live for Speed video is I think the first one where we did the modded cars, and we had 188 views. But the Live for Speed analysis of a crash, we pushed it back. We pushed it everywhere. Like we
titled into my mad.
And it was really interesting because at that bit, it was Rob did the most unbelievable maneuver and just brought the whole pack to a standstill. But it was really interesting analysing what we did, whether or not we reacted quick enough, what we could have done to react better, where we should have been. And it was really interesting. But my point is, it's emergent and there's a story to tell about it. And if you missed it earlier, the stuff I was doing today, that's part of the goal, is emergent behaviour. And I think I'm just about there on unexpected emergent behaviour on this, because it's random every time. It's definitely not the same. What happens, what blows up, what pushes what where.
Now I'm a bit confused if you're saying that has emergent gameplay and Dwarf Fortress doesn't.
No, Fortresscraft doesn't.
Fortresscraft doesn't, but so you were saying that the special stories of the bronze, whatever.
No, I think Dwarf Fortress does have emergent gameplay. I'm just saying it. Dwarf Fortress perhaps encourages stories by having lots of textual detail, but not an awful lot of graphics. So you kind of had to use your imagination.
having gameplay in my games is something that I would really much encourage. Now, if the detail is in the gameplay, I'm very happy. I don't want the detail to be in the graphics.
Yeah, I mean, the Steam version of Dwarf Fortress, I'm more concerned about the user interface than the graphics. I'm a bit worried it's still going to be impenetrable. I mean, to be fair as well, the graphics look shit. It's not as if they've gone, look at this. You know, you could have made it look like Stardew Valley. You could have made it look, what's that other one? Graveyard Keeper. You could have made it look so nice. And it looks alright. It's fine. But then you see dialogue boxes like this going, right, but compare that to Graveyard Keeper, which is a game I'm still extremely angry about, but we won't get into that. Because Graveyard Keeper is gorgeous. It's absolutely lovely. Like, properly beautiful, beautiful art, beautiful lighting. Just fantastic. That is beautiful. And you notice it's exactly the same viewpoint. So they could have made Dwarf Fortress look this good. Skip the story.
Quite a lot of DLC with very moderate amount of content in that.
What pissed me off was you have to play so long to get to the automation part of this game. And they didn't bother to update the Xbox version. It went onto the Xbox. Was it on Game Pass? Yeah, I think it's on Game Pass. They just never patched it. Literally, they just dropped it. Show some more of the nice graphics. But, yeah, Graveyard Keeper is one of the more beautiful pixel art games. It is absolutely fantastic graphics all the way through. Wonderful art, great dialogue boxes. My problem with it was, my God, I played for about 30 hours before I got the automation. And by this point, I'm like, I don't think I care anymore. Why is my capture card doing that? That's not what I'm seeing.
The stream is kind of also...
Yeah, that's not what I'm seeing. There we go. Apologies about that. But yeah, Dwarf Fortress could have looked like this. And it doesn't. So...
I'm waiting for the stream to catch up.
With all the tile types and everything, the wide variety of things, could it have looked like that with reasonable art budgets?
Well, they still have to draw them, no matter how they look. This is just this is, to my mind, one of the best looking pixel art games there is. It's absolutely great.
I would assume that carefully made sprites requires a lot of artist detail, which is just not available if you multiply the right amounts by 10
No,
a couple of times.
This isn't really an art quantity thing. That's an art quality thing. It's not really time. It's just the guy. So Graveyard Keeper is interesting because I actually did a deep dive into the graphics because it is beautiful. It is absolutely fantastic. And it's actually got per pixel lighting, which I was really impressed at. And then I dug into the art files and I found that they did per pixel lighting and all the shit in the Kickstarter and then never bothered with anything else because it clearly took too long. Back to the game, we are not receiving any strange matter, as far as I can tell. No strange matter means no graviton lenses. No graviton lenses means no green cubes. No green cubes means no jumpers. No jumpers means you are going to be cold, young man.
I think it's on lack of magnets at this point. The scale starts to pick up quite a lot, so... I thought that 36 melters would be something, but it seems like it's nothing for our current needs.
Are you using smelters? Are you using the fancy smelters?
No.
Would you like fancy smelters?
If you can provide them.
How many? I can bring you 58 fancy smelters. Bear in mind they do use a lot of energy. Let me go get some fuel. Yeah, I do dev streams as well, by the way, and I do talk a lot about the games industry. I talk about things, as I said, from a very different perspective to most people because of my times in the games industry, and I hope to show people a little bit of how the sausage is actually made, not how EA tells you the sausage is made. Yes, we're playing it 4-player multiplayer I think right now. Where are you, Schalke?
On Run.
Okay, how far is that?
No, I'm on Forge.
You are 8 light years. Yeah, we're playing it with the Nebula multiplayer mod. Did you not spot the... Did I not set the title right? Dyson Sphere Program White Cubes multiplayer.
Does EA have some reason to tell a particular story with how the sausage is made?
Yeah, because the thing is that EA will put something out into alpha or beta, and what they meant to call it was demo or marketing tool. You can choose whether or not you start in the same place or somewhere different. How many warpers have I got? 20. Right, well, I'll have to go very badly wrong for me to need all those. IO Silver!
Away!
I'm sorry you don't have any friends. Earlier there was someone else looking for someone to play with in this.
I guess you have to be alone together then.
Wait a moment. I mean, I will complain about Dyson Sphere Program as well. I love this game. I think it's great. These guys have made a lot of money. Lots and lots of money. So why are they not hiring someone to do the multiplayer? Why is the top entry in their FAQ, are you doing multiplayer? No, stop asking. Where am I landing, Schalke? Forge 2?
Forge has only one landable planet, and it's a moon.
You're a moon. Perfect flight. Huh, cool. Okay, Schalke's over there. I don't care about the localization. I do care about multiplayer. What we're lacking then, Mr. Schalk?
Magnetic rings. I think we have iron ore quite well, but need to scale this up.
In case you know what I'm doing, I'm still working on the instruction you gave me last time I played.
Yeah, I mean, with a lot of things, this applies forever. I mean, basically, there's no real end to this game. We keep playing it until we get bored, or they put in maybe they'll put in a new patch and we'll want to start again. I suspect, for example, when they add in combat, we don't want to just carry on from where we are, because we'll go, cool, combat. It's incredibly easy, because obviously we've got 56 hours into this save.
So, can you plop down what you have on this wing, the smeltery?
Do you want me to upgrade for you? Do you want me to just leave it for you?
I could place them if you leave them. You don't want to.
No, I don't mind.
Keep placing them.
But there you go, there's 50.
I'm not terribly excited. 50. Okay, I'll plant this down.
That's a lot of unipolar magnets. Bear in mind their power usage is extremely larger. I'll help you, but I've got some accumulators. Oh yes, Zebra, I know. I mean, this is a point I've made repeatedly. This is the problem with mods. It's the same problem with volunteers. They get bored. Oh, I'm close to this Mia system. I'm going to go and have a look. I've not been that way. So yeah, you can't rely on volunteers because you can't sack them. Okay, I'm heading off to DSR J1122 plus 24. So yeah, I mean, I would like to say thank you to Zebra, to Steve, to Schalke, to all the people who have stuck with Fortress Craft. I think, no offense, all of you, everything all of you done put together pales compared to what Todd Meir has done with his database website, which is just an amazing website. But yeah, a genuine thank you to all the people who have helped. And there's what, 10 of you, and there's 500 people who have come and gone. Dora, why are you meowing?
Food father.
No, she's just sitting at the meow. No, she doesn't meow for food. Ironic. I can come back with more of the ingredient needed. This is where we get unipolar magnets from. Esmir, I don't wish to question anything, but would you like some gatherers? Because I've got 11 on me.
No, I'm fine.
Oh, okay.
Wait, the big ones?
Yes.
Actually, yeah, that would be nice.
Well, I mean, I don't want to twist your arm or anything. Where are
I
you?
could get a lot more things done.
Objective completed. Oh, nearly objective completed.
Where are you? Max, is there a good night where you're not around, by the way? I only ask because I don't think you were very interested in visceral cleanup detail, which we've currently got vaguely penciled in for Monday. Are you there?
Is it multiplayer now?
Yes.
Hmm.
Want to have a guess how many?
4.
32.
What?
Oh, yes. Now, you would be banging through the levels quickly in 32.
You don't really get many of the achievements, I guess.
Thank you very much.
I think
Stacking chairs and the certain things you have to do to get the achieves.
I don't know. I didn't know there were any.
Oh, if you need soil, this is a fantastic planet to grab some from.
Dirty soil.
Is there a maximum charging speed with these what do you call it, wireless power towers?
No.
So
Well,
can I just put more around me to get more charging speed?
there's an achievement to get 12 around you.
Oh, right.
If you just put them as close as you can in a 4x4 grid, you should get the achievement almost straight away.
Right.
I'm
I have
taking-
33.
Well, you need 16.
Well,
I don't have the big miner. Yeah, no, I have the big miner, and Esmir has some big miners, but I happen to be carrying most of them around because they're quite awkward ingredients to make. Schalke, are there plane filters on your planet too, or not?
That's on Golden Waterfall.
Right, man, that's a pain. I can make you some more plane smelters, but I need more plane filters. Oh, I have 65,000 soil. There isn't a way just to hoover up soil, is there? I just had to put loads of conveyors down. There isn't a sensible way. Is there? Anyone? Bueller?
I'd target me.
I need
No, I've got
something.
soils by putting things down.
Yeah, but then I'm spending foundations and I can't get them back. Plus, that's not actually any easier, is it? I mean, I guess I could put something big down. Like your mama.
Low level convey are quite efficient for that.
Yeah, I've got some big things on me, which are probably better, actually. The good thing about conveyors is you can mass delete them when you're done. This very much feels, by the way, like something that they did not expect you to be doing.
As a player, I kind of expected that I would sometimes want to have a high hill. I actually want everything to be flat.
Yes.
Or have ocean.
Have you come across an ocean planet yet?
There are different kind of ocean planets, yes.
Yes, they are challenging. That's annoying, I can't mass delete. Does this planet have a crazy rotational period? 95
Yes, it
seconds, yeah.
does.
Because I'm here watching the shadows.
It's orbiting a black hole.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Its orbit around the sun is fine. 3,000 seconds. Its rotational period is only 90 seconds. It's a 45-second day-night cycle.
I have never seen a planet around a black hole that's not spinning really fast.
Yeah, it's
in this
spinning.
game.
It's spinning fast. It's not orbiting fast. So it's orbiting very slow. But it's spinning like anything. That is.
I do wonder whether in reality these packetification forces would actually spin up planets. I guess there's a like a limit in like if you go nearer to that, then it's gonna tear things apart. Like moons won't hold together if they're close enough.
That's no moon. That looks so cool. I think this game looks beautiful in so many ways. It's like No Man's Sky. Like, I mean, No Man's Sky, my F12 key gets kind of worn out from just going screenshot, screenshot, screenshot. And this is another one that I think the so many amazing bits of art. I'm curious to see how they can actually add more content to the game without forcing you to restart, though. We'll see how that goes too. Black holes and neutron stars are the only place to find unipolar, yes.
That's why when I'm starting over, I make sure that there's a black hole or a neutron star near to the wherever I'm starting.
Come on, give me the planets. There we go. I haven't overshot whilst warping yet. There's always a first time. Not today. Do you need more, Schalke? I have 3 more. How's your power looking? Because they are very powerful. Oh no, it looking good.
Yeah. I guess that might start the strange matter production. I have to do awful monitoring of that now. And I guess measuring how deep you need to make these smelteries in order to heat up a blue belt.
You're not really doing much with proliferation, though, are you?
No.
So I'm pretty sure this is not proliferation. Sorry, piling. So I'm about 90% sure what we've got here is completely saturated, and you are being held back by the speed of the belt.
I'm not convinced, but I guess I'm near that.
Well, 720 is the limit over a blue belt, isn't it? Are we agreed on that number? Excellent, thank you, Max. That was a helpful grunt.
I guess I'm not looking at the numbers so much.
So I've just used 2 pilers, and I've got this belt up from 720 to 2,200. But your magnet throughput is now massively higher just through a small tweak in logistics. Pilers are great, by the way, because they make about half as saturated, so you can put twice as much on it. and you can repeat the process up to 4 times. Yeah, so we now get a sustained 2,000 up from a sustained 720. In fact, it's so sustained that we're now running behind. You also need to stop using orange belts because I think... Oh no, they are just about running ahead.
Okay, so now it's waiting on the logistic vessel things.
Good. Those we can upgrade.
It's
We can. No, like we can just upgrade those. I can make them better and
the
faster.
upgrades are gonna benefit that.
Logistics carrier engine. There you go. Hold on. So what we at currently? Logistics vessel. 1,800 meters a second movement. 0.15 light years per second. Please hold. .15 and 1,800, and that is going to become... Oh, it's slowing down. Stop slowing down. 0.18 and 2,100. Yeah, so that's an extra... yeah, about 20% that we gained.
Query.
Yes.
We on Max's place have iron ingots, copper ingots, titanium ingots, and magnetic coils being served out to
Do you have
Stellar
Do you have a lot of silicon on that planet? I think that was a silicon.
No.
That's a pity. Okay.
But I'm making those resources, but there don't seem to be a lot of them going down. So I'm just basically, I think the sensible thing to do is just to pile up as much as I can into storage, so at least it's out and ready to go whenever anybody wants it, rather than waiting for it to be generated.
Bear in mind, the logistics center has 18,000 storage on board.
Yeah, it's full.
Yeah, so that's fine. Can you make processors, the yellow ones, without silicon? I think you can, because we are actually kind of struggling for those.
Yes, I've got those.
Like half of hot singles is like generating those, and we are really struggling.
I don't know where I'm making them right this second. I'm just so I can have a look.
But we could do with that times more.
I have got some. I'll just go and find them. Hold on. You
Yes.
want them on the network, basically? Yeah.
Yes, please. Yeah, Sharkus, so we've now jammed up. So this interstellar logistics station has an issue that it has 0 magnets. Oh no, that's this way. Okay, now why is this interstellar logistics station requesting 12,500, 14,000 iron ore?
What?
Need for the rings.
Because it is spending it as fast as it's receiving it.
Right, no, you missed the question. This planet has 25,000 iron ore on it. Why is this requesting the iron ore remotely rather than locally?
But it's a roll.
Look
Okay.
at how many ships. Oh no.
Yeah, all the ships are busy, and we have 18,000 magnets sitting here doing nothing, because all of the ships are busy servicing.
I think it's the ring consumer might also be an issue.
Yeah, but you're still not missing the point. This planet has an awful lot of iron ore. Why are we pulling in iron ore from other planets to this planet? Did you mean to? Or
Because I'm not gonna set every planet that I'm gonna visit to collect every ore.
Right, but I mean, all you need to do is pop down, gather advanced mining machines, and it will automatically drop stuff off.
Do we have them automated?
We don't need. Shao dude, there's like 30 veins on this planet. You don't need them. You need very few.
If I need to, if I have to tap 30 veins per planet,
Yeah.
then I'm gonna need them automated if I'm gonna tap every planet that
Yeah,
I'm gonna visit.
but in this particular... Okay, I'm going to start again. On this planet, I'm changing it. I'm just changing it because this is broken. Right now, all of our logistics vessels are bringing in iron ore from other planets, so we are not offloading any magnetic rings at all. It is so saturated. We have no way to set priorities. So because we're pulling in iron ore from other planets for no reason I can work out, we are not sending any iron rings out. And we're never going to overcome that. If I had gatherers and hadn't given them all to Esmir, this would have been a 1-click fix. Unfortunately, this is going to be like a 10-click fix. Because drones will work straight from advanced mining machines to logistics stations. But we don't have any way of controlling this. But you're using up so much iron ore from I don't know where that the logistics vessels are never getting to deliver the products you're making. I mean, I guess eventually it will go to sleep. Won't it? Yeah, it will go to sleep eventually, won't it? Oh, no, it probably won't because you're just filling up storage hoppers. Yeah, so you've got like, I don't know, 1 million iron ore on this planet, but you don't have any, you're not using it very quickly. But you are pulling in lots of iron ore. Where the fuck is this iron ore going?
That's just the local smeltery.
Yeah, but so I guess
some of that has been overflow. It can be fed back if desired.
Hold on. So we can go remote demand because when we're at our... Have you got massive storage of rings or something? All of this should be asleep. None of this should be moving.
The ring is the output product. It is sleeping.
What? It's not, because we've got 10,000 iron ore on the way, 12,000 iron ore on the way. So these rings are sent interstellar. I see. Oh, there we go. Now we have our first logistics vessel decided that rings are a priority.
Yeah, but I'm fixing up the receiving of the rings. So I guess now it's not sleeping on that end.
I don't understand that. Well, the issue is there's no priority system. It's picking whatever it feels like. Probably it's picking whatever's first on the list or something. I don't know what the rules are. Oh, hold on. Don't we have those fancy crystals on the network? Yes, we do. I'd like some here, please. Remote demand. Oh. I will have to put warpers in by hand. And remote storage. Please go get me one of... Oh, fuck, I don't have any spaceships. It's a shame there isn't like an interstellar post option for multiplayer.
Post?
Mail. Oh, it doesn't matter. I didn't need it. There we go. Yeah, we have... I asked for 600 and we have 1,800 coming. Great. Because quite frankly, screw running conveyor belts in this day and age.
Oh, wait. Oh, if you... Can you take out of commission extra logistics station that is requesting belts and smelteries?
Only because I gave it a warper and I didn't want it to use the warper for something else.
Do you take it down, or do I have to come clean up
available on the
things?
network now.
No, I wanted to make sure when I put the warpers in, it didn't spend them on anything other than the single very rare thing I wanted, which is done now. Oops.
Pushers are going to have them anyway.
Yes, that's what I remembered after I'd already done it. Very long, they only stat to like 40. Yeah, these are so easy to use because all you do is that. And that will now just use drones to send it to over yonder. Well, once I give it power anyway. have more drones. More drones. But yeah, it's so easy to set these up. I wouldn't. It's marginally more effort than bothering to set up the logistics station. Like once you've got the logistics station set up, you might as well just use the big gatherers. Because this should hopefully shift the balance from remote demand to local demand. One hopes. And that means we should, because we're not offloading the rings. I was checking a second, but last time I checked, we still weren't sending the rings anywhere. They're just sitting here. And you said they were a critical part for... Yeah, see, now I have set up local delivery of iron ore to this. We're no longer sending up to the galaxy, the star cluster for it. So we are managing to offload iron ingots and magnets. It's a shame we can't do a priority thing. Unless we can, and I don't know how. It's always possible with this game. Yeah, so in, I don't know, I'll say 60 seconds, I've hooked up about 25% of your planet's iron. Make it 35%. I mean, hopefully it takes quite a long time to drain.
Do you have it set up the export for that also?
Well, we can't import and export, so no. All this means is that your interstellar station that is demanding iron ore will now be satisfied from the local planet. I mean, I'm only using 14 drones.
And I guess I'm trying to design it so that their main iron smeltery would be there. Does iron go through any other intermediate products from bars?
Just bars and rings, yeah. I mean, that's fine, but I wouldn't have this station that is offloading all of the important products also requesting the input. I'd have the input request on a different interstellar logistics station, because all of the storage vessels are full. Also, you were charging it slowly, which is also a bad idea. So yeah, it just was never getting round to sending out the magnets until.
There's also the thing that there's pulling vessels from the ring station that can work.
Well, they weren't. It's going now, but there wasn't. That's why I was like, this is broken. And this is the problem.
Probably because the receiver might be full now.
Maybe. But if there's 100 logistics stations in the galaxy, we are going to have a really hard time finding and fixing them all. Right, it is about midnight, and I have to help someone move house tomorrow. So, are we just about done? Is there anything anyone needs to finish up with? This is your 5-minute warning. But I am hoping that one of the things they add is more control of logistics. Even just introspection, just being able to look at it and go, you know, over the last 10 hours, where was I? Whatever the planet, what was that planet called? Forge 2, right now. Over the last 10 hours, Forge 2 has requested blah, 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 blah bars and sent blah, 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 blah bars. Like just more. Oh.
By the way, you do need silicon to make PCBs.
The yellow ones. That's a pain. Okay. I mean, you
am
could.
I getting confused? No, I'm getting confused now. Sorry. Ignore.
Yeah.
There's a lot of double to make.
Did someone say something?
Hello?
I can't hear him saying anything.
Magnetic rings are...
Yes, you need the silicon to make microcrystalline components, which is part of the PCB. So it's microcrystalline component plus throughout circuit board to make processor.
So you do need it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Bear in mind, there is no lack of silicon on the interplanetary network, so you could probably... Oh, that's so cool seeing our massive lockdown symbol. You could almost definitely request it without much worry.
Actually, I've got a couple of veins. I'll exhaust first.
I say that. I suspect that's actually going to become an issue because I've just landed on hot singles and it's demanding high purity silicon and it has none arriving. So we might actually be running out there. The problem is, I mean, this is why I kind of hang around at Dora World so I can spot issues developing, even if the source root of the issue... Oh my god, this game is so cool. Look at that. Oh, let's point at the planet where we're going and then see how cool it is. Quite often I think it's going to be easier just to grab a new planet and just set up offloading of iron ore rather than fix issues.
Right, well, I've found the next place I want to stop.
Okay,
next
good.
piece of network I need to fix. It's going to take more than a few minutes.
Cool. Are we all
I shall
out
exit.
of what? But yeah, we're going to be playing, well, possibly Sneaky Spaceships tomorrow. We'll see who's about, but Power Wash Simulator afterwards. We're going to do Vista Cleanup Detail on Monday and probably Wreckfest Sunday night. So lots of fun and games coming up. The reason we do a variety of games, otherwise Mike gets sarcastic and start going on about we're just doing Dyson Sphere program. So, yes. Monday, we'll... Oh, I've got Monday and Tuesday mixed up. Let me edit that. And Tuesday, we'll see if Lost Ark has calmed down enough to see if... And genuinely, and I really am so surprised. I've had so much more fun playing Power Wash Simulator than Lost Ark. And I know that is an odd thing to say, but it's genuinely true.
It's that Squeenix quality.
I mean, if you've ever played Solitaire or Minesweeper or a colouring book, you know, it's that level of just enough. Just enough.
Was there ever reason to think that Lost Ark is a good game?
Because it had 96% ratings for people start to bitch about the servers. The ratings were spectacular. So lots of people think it's a very good game. I'm not so sure so far, but I'm willing to give it a go. And I do like ARPGs. They're definitely my bag. And if this is a really good ARPG, then I'm all over that shit. It's just that so far I haven't seen it. So we'll sum up with we do not have enough strange matter. So that's something to look at for next time. Possibly me fixing that magnetic ring means in the next 20 minutes it will all filter through and start to flow in. But right now, no strange matter.
Crash out, trying to land on Matti.
Nice.
I don't need to come back.
Good. Right. Well, enjoy your Dungeons and Dragons tomorrow, Shaka. We will miss you while we are pressure washing. And there'll be probably a short dev stream tomorrow evening before the main stream, chatting about Sneaky Spaceships a little bit. There have been a number of improvements, so please do take a look at those if you've got access. And it should work in VR much better, and there is a sport mode now. Thank you everyone who joined in for the dev stream today. I will try and do a bunch more of those. I enjoyed that. I got a bunch of stuff done and I need to put some sound effects in. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed seeing Dyson's Spear program in multiplayer, and we don't have a catchphrase.